This is iFIBER 1 News. Here are today's top stories.
3 contacts in one day by police ultimately ended with a trip to jail for a Soap Lake woman accused of damaging property and throwing merchandise at Rite Aid.
Work to repair a large washout which collapsed a portion of State Route 20 near Loop Loop Pass about 7 miles west of Okanagan began this week.
Moses Lake's ban on daytime camping in open public spaces now includes a fine for violators.
There's a new brand in town, and it's all about the Wenatchee Valley.
From the iFIBER 1 newsroom, this is iFIBER 1 News. And it starts now.
3 contacts in one day by police ultimately ended with a trip to jail for a Soap Lake woman accused of damaging property and throwing merchandise at Rite Aid. 23-year-old Deanna Castro was arrested Monday evening at the Moses Lake store. Moses Lake police had responded for a report of a disturbance involving Castro, where she reportedly entered the store and began breaking chairs and display items. Video shows the woman knocking multiple items off the store shelves and throwing merchandise at employees, hitting at least one person. Prior to her arrest, Castro had been contacted earlier Monday after she stepped into oncoming traffic on West 4th Avenue. Police gave the woman a ride to Grant County Mental Health, but less than 30 minutes later, she allegedly threw a chair inside the mental health building before throwing rocks at cars and pushing over a motorcycle in the parking lot. At the time, she was cited for disorderly conduct and malicious mischief and released due to jail booking restrictions. Castro was booked into Grant County Jail after the Rite Aid incident for felony malicious mischief and misdemeanor assault. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by...
Change doesn't have to be complicated. With a low-profile microwave hood combination that's ready to install right out of the box. It fits in the same space as your under-cabinet hood, so you can get your microwave off the countertop and make space for the routines worth keeping. The low-profile microwave hood combination, from the #1 selling appliance brand in the USA.
Whirlpool Appliances, now available at more furniture in Ephrata.
Work to repair a large washout which collapsed a portion of State Route 20 near Loop Loop Pass about 7 miles west of Okanagan began this week. The damage occurred on May 1st when water seepage from an adjacent hillside disturbed the integrity of the roadway's foundation, cracking and crumbling the asphalt and leaving a portion of the highway's guardrail and its anchor posts suspended in midair over a newly formed 25-foot gulch.
Well, we believe that the seepage from this road, the other side of the roadway here, going underneath the roadway, along with, I think we believe it had an underdrain problem, caused that saturation of the water to go underneath, and just what caused the slide.
Okay. Did it happen during a time of rain at all, or?
No, it was. I think it was a pretty normal day, sunny day, I believe.
To perform the emergency restoration, the DOT has contracted with Hearst Construction LLC of Wenatchee, whose first task is to establish an approach to the damaged area.
Currently, they're doing an access road to get down to the bottom of the slide, and from there, we're going to do a shear key point, fill it in with rocks that are roughly around 2 to 3 feet in diameter, angular rock. From there, we're going to build on top of that with base course, and then some gravel borrow, and eventually build it up in like a step.
The project is expected to require approximately 2,000 loader trucks full of riprap and gravel in order to completely backfill the estimated 20,000 cubic yards of rock and earth which was displaced in the washout. Crews will not need to go very far for some of those materials, however, since there are already several large piles of them nearby which were left over from work that was done to repair a series of large washouts about a mile west of the current one 2 years ago. Geotechnical engineers with the DOT have determined that westbound lanes through the damaged area are stable enough to allow for a single lane of traffic, which is currently being signal regulated around the clock, but could soon be switching to some intervals of flagger control during daylight hours. There is also a 12-foot width restriction for all vehicles traversing the construction zone. Emergency repair contracts through the DOT operate on a maximum of 30 days, but can be extended if necessary, a step that officials say may be required to completely restore the missing chunk of SR 20 between milepost 222 and 223. Reporting for iFIBER 1 News, I'm Chris Hansen.
This segment is brought to you by...
Are your taste buds bored? Well, then bring them to Jay's Teriyaki. Not only does Jay's have a variety of teriyaki dishes, they also offer mouth-watering salads and sides. Call Jay's 509-764-5155. Jay's Teriyaki, located at 123 East Broadway in Moses Lake, because it's all in the sauce.
Moses Lake's ban on daytime camping in open public spaces now includes a fine for violators. The City Council approved reinserting the penalty for violation section of its prohibition on camping between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. in public spaces. Violators of the ban could now face a $20 civil infraction for a first violation and $40 thereafter for any further violations within a 12-month period. The city previously had an outright ban on camping and were able to criminally trespass violators from city parks until the Federal Circuit Court ruling in Boise relating to the homeless. The city has since reworked its camping ordinances to comply with the Boise decision. Moses Lake Police Chief Kevin Fuhrer said during Tuesday's council meeting the camping ordinances are not specifically directed at the homeless, but also encompass a regular problem, especially during the summer, involving people setting up camp, whether in a tent or RV, in city parks and public areas during many of the community events and sports tournaments.
We do not want to write the ticket if we don't have to. Our primary goal is to get people to comply with whatever the ordinance is, and our last resort is to write that ticket, but we still want to have the ability, if somebody just flat out says, no, we're not moving, to be able to issue that.
This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
There's a new brand in town, and it's all about the Wenatchee Valley. Mary Big Bull Lewis and her husband Rob Lewis are the team behind Wenatchee Wear, just launched about a month ago, to fit Valley residents with outerwear and accessories designed with local culture in mind.
The main push for Wenatchee Wear was to help the community kind of become one and be, there's a lot of pride in the valley with representing, just what a beautiful place we live in. So I wanted to create some designs that shared the history.
Wenatchee Wear is a branding line within the couple's R Digital Design Company, which has been doing logo and corporate art for about 6 years.
We kind of branched out on our own and wanted to really focus on graphic design specifically for print.
Mary is the key designer for Wenatchee Wear, and one icon in Mary's design work is the Skookum Indian, a long-lasting, often criticized fruit company mascot who still grins down on Wenatchee Avenue. Mary, an enrolled member of the Colville tribes whose family has Wenatchee Indian ancestry, sees the caricature as a teachable moment.
The focus of it was to bring the history, because a lot of people don't know how it began. It actually began in the early 1900s where a non-native woman created the Skookum dolls. I think that it's an important piece of Wenatchee history, and just to share to let people know where it actually came from.
Shirts, vinyl stickers, mugs, and other items can be ordered through Wenatchee Wear's website. Their products come with informational postcards telling the design's origins, like the Two Bears design based on the Wenatchee Indian legends surrounding Saddle Rock.
The Wenatchee tribe's tale is that the two bears were arguing all the time, and the coyote was tired of them arguing, so he turned them to stone.
Jefferson Robbins, iFIBER 1 News.
This is iFIBER 1 News. For more information on these stories and other news, visit us online at iFiber1.com or check us out on Facebook.